That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Don't take no fight with that dude, because that dude ain't going to hold back.
Tank wouldn't do that.
Exactly. He ain't going to do that. He ain't going to ruin his reputation and fight this.
I mean, there's still other options, you know? It's like, bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Fans didn't hold back as Jake Paul revealed fresh details about his upcoming fight, sparking a wave of brutal trolling across social media. Jake also joined the trolling and released a humorous skit, taking shots at everyone he has beef with and poking fun at the size difference between him and Gervonta Tank Davis.
Let's see. I don't give a bollocks, mate. Fuck you right now, mate.
The only thing you should be fighting is your addiction.
Me training. Jesus. Yeah.
Somebody help that guy.
Listen, all me and Moms want is for you to cut half your body weight, and we got ourselves some.
Shh.
Good boy.
This is my call out. J. Paul, what's up? What up, J. Paul?
Oh, Gervonta.
That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby.
But despite Jake's humor, that has not stopped fans and the wider public from doubting Jake's chances, as many continue to troll him and criticize him for still not being a real boxer.
Who do you think is winning this fight, Jake Paul or Tank Davis?
Tank all day.
Tank Davis ain't gonna fuck him up.
Tank killing him.
This nigga knocking this nigga out.
He's gonna bust his ass.
Tank Davis is the truth.
So do you think Jake's a real fighter?
No.
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 No, the YouTuber.
He's not a real fighter.
Nah.
Yeah, internet boxer, man. Get the
You think this is a fight Jake Paul would take?
No.
Nah.
He's not ready for Tank.
Bro, he too scared to do that bullshit.
This is what Tank built for. He not built for this.
He's not a real boxer, bro. He ain't going to take no fight with that dude, because that dude ain't going to hold back.
Tank wouldn't do that.
Exactly. He ain't going to do that. He ain't going to ruin his reputation and fight this.
In addition, Rolando Rolly Romero shared his perspective, citing possibilities suggesting that Jake Paul could be too big for Gervonta Tank Davis, or that Tank might land a decisive shot. He noted that since the fight is an exhibition, neither fighter may go all out. Romero added that even if Tank loses, he remains a 3-time champion.
I mean, there's still other options, you know? It's like, bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, me personally, it don't matter what my opinion is, but I don't think get the money while you can get the money is my opinion. But you know, some fans are gonna have a hard time.
No, it's not
with
even
it.
about the money though, man. It's like regardless of anything, like yeah, get the money when you can get the money, but it's not even about the money. There's so much more to this sport in this world than just money, man.
Meanwhile, Mike Perry commented that while Jake Paul is big and Gervonta Tank Davis has plenty of skill, he does not believe Tank is the same fighter who has delivered those spectacular knockouts in the past. He noted that Tank walked away from the rematch with Lamont Roach and questioned whether he still loves boxing the way he once did.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, I mean, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and you know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Furthermore, Antonio Tarver stated that Gervonta Tank Davis should have taken the fight at 135 pounds against a fellow champion to unify the belts. He acknowledged that Tank is chasing money and has every right to do so, but added that in terms of the sport, Tank does not appear to have that competitive drive.
Yeah, man, you can't, I don't know, bro. It's just a new day and age in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And you either get with it or get left behind, bro. You know what I mean? These guys are you know, like, hey, they chasing the bag. They want the bag, and that's the motivation for a lot of these guys. You know what I mean? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Get your money, bro. But as far as the game is concerned, boxing, I don't know how to look. My whole thing is this: if he fights Jake Paul, will he ever become the champion? Come back to boxing, or even have a desire to fight any of these major names or big names? And if his career ended today, what can we say? You know, it's all opinionated.
Additionally, Tarver questioned the strength of Tank's legacy and wondered if he would return to facing professional fighters after this cash grab fight with Jake Paul, noting that opinions on the matter are just that. Opinions.
Okay, he get the bag from Jake Paul, now what? I mean, he just gonna ride off in the sunset and beat Gervonta Davis? And I don't know how the boxing game gonna look, you know, if he never fights any of the guys that we know that could have really shown his true ability and true talents. Because that's what it's all about, being challenged in a real way, bro. Being challenged in a real way and standing on what you're standing on, your ability, your talents, and your dedication and commitment to the game.
Antonio added that it never appeared Gervonta Tank Davis was eager for a rematch with Lamont Roach, and that Jake Paul provided a better financial opportunity, effectively saving him from going down that path.
It looks like it. It looks like he didn't want that. He didn't want to go back down that road, and Jake Paul saved him from that. You know, Jake Paul saved him from that, bro. He got out, you know what I mean?
That's the one that's going viral, Chin. That's a good one. Jake Paul saved him. Got you. I mean,
yeah. But that's the truth, it seems like.
Yeah.
And Roach, you know, hey, Roach came with it, bro. And it looks like through their familiarity of coming up in the amateurs and all that together, you know, Roach really know him better than most fighters.
Might have heard this one
before.
before.
You know what I mean? Roach know him, bro. So
yeah.
I think that was you know, hindsight always 2020. I didn't think he wanted to go back down that. That was a tough out for him.
Moreover, Brendan Schwab explained that the fight is not sanctioned due to the number of professional bouts Gervonta Tank Davis has and the significant size difference between him and Jake Paul.
Well, Jake's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think they could get it sanctioned because A, how many fights Gervonta has, then B, the size difference.
Yeah.
Before I say any comment about it, my question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
However, Jake's manager, Nikisa Bedarian, stated that it was always planned for Jake to fight Gervonta Tank Davis if the Canelo matchup did not materialize. He added that the fight made sense since Tank had also been calling out Jake Paul.
Always been the plan for Jake to fight Tank once Canelo didn't happen. And to Tank's credit, he's a real bad dude, and he's been calling out Jake for 3 years. And people, it's funny how now they're saying size matters, Jake is big, when for so long it's been Tank would kill Jake Paul. Now you get to see if that's real.
what weight could they possibly be fighting at? You know, the news broke, Jake and Tank are gonna happen November 14th.
Whatever weight they want, man, they're talking about it, and whatever it is, it's gonna be a definitive outcome. People can talk about pro, exhibition. We're gonna make sure this is as real as it's real.
Highlighting the unusual nature of the fight, Jeff Mayweather described the matchup as unusual due to the significant size difference. He noted that while it may not matter in exhibition, it still seems strange since Tank is expected to weigh around 147 pounds, while Jake Paul will be over 200 pounds.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank is going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
In addition, Shakur Stevenson called Gervonta Tank Davis' fight with Jake Paul a terrible idea. He acknowledged that boxing is a business driven by money, but noted that he would have earned the same, if not more, had he faced Tank. Stevenson added that Tank has the skills to beat Jake and would likely come out on top.
What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money. But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
it's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about the rumors that Tank and Jake might fight?
Man, Tank, disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game. I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just gonna go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Moreover, Gareth A. Davis noted that this fight had been in discussions for 4 years, yet many were still caught off guard when it was finally signed. He mentioned that fans had hoped for an Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup, but now feel like they're receiving a joke of a fight instead.
It took us all by surprise that it was signed. I think we've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week. £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight, as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul.
Gareth explained that these fights are possible because Jake Paul has a massive following, and stepping into the ring with him guarantees a huge payday, a fact that everyone in the boxing world is well aware of.
At least you feel in this, you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week with to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No,
Baker.
Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars.
Meanwhile, Spencer Oliver weighed in, suggesting that Jake Paul should have picked an opponent more comparable to his own size. He highlighted that in Jake's previous fight against former world champion Julio Chavez Jr., the matchup added legitimacy to his record. Spencer told that while many applauded Jake for stepping up to face professional boxers rather than MMA fighters, taking on Tank now comes across as a less serious choice.
Jake should have picked someone more his size. Look, his last fight against Julio Chavez Jr. Was at cruiserweight. Chavez Jr. was a former world champion at middleweight himself, and that sort of made sense. And it was a good win for Jake Paul. You know, he come out there and he beats an ex-world champion. He gets a little bit of credibility, and you go, right, now you're heading in the right direction. You're starting to be okay, all right. Former champions, former fighters, but at least they're boxers. They're not MMA stars, and whatnot. So. Yeah, I think that was a move in the right direction. Gervonta Davis is just a little bit of a freak show for me.
In contrast, Chael Sonnen stated that this fight is not as bad as some boxing fans might claim. He explained that it is the complete opposite of what the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup was.
It's not as bad of a fight as you guys think, for one. It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for two. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis.
Sonnen pointed out that regardless of the matchup, Gervonta Tank Davis is not a strong salesperson. He said that Tank struggles to promote fights in a way that truly captures attention or generates excitement.
There's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation.
But apart from everything, commentators showbiz the adult praised Jake Paul for choosing USADA as the drug testing and anti-doping agency for the fight. He appreciated Jake's decision, noting that it was intentional, as VADA had long held a monopoly and had become a questionable authority in the sport.
Yo, that is incredible for boxing. I'm sure Jake Paul did it on purpose, and I just want to spread this to you guys. Pause. Out there, I want to spread this news. He's using USADA. And this is why it's so value added. There has been a lot of questions about VADA, and it was really put on the forefront after Ryan Garcia popped, remember? Now, Ryan Garcia conspiracy was basically that Victor Conte, he helps VADA, okay? So he helps VADA. But the thing is, we know Victor Conte is the biggest cheat in sports history, and people have seen that as a conflict of interest.
Meanwhile, Lamont Roach Sr. spoke about regarding the much-anticipated rematch between Lamont Roach Jr. and Gervonta Davis. He explained that although fans were excited for the bout, the fight had yet to come together as planned. Roach Sr. emphasized that they won't remain on the sidelines, instead focusing on advancing their careers. While he hopes the matchup eventually takes place again, the immediate priority is getting Lamont Roach Jr. back into the ring before the year ends.
Yeah, he pretty much said it all, you know, like, that's the fight we want, and I think that's the fight the fans want, you know, such after a great fight like that. Everybody's looking forward to the second bout, but unfortunately, things ain't lining up as planned, so we just can't sit around and wait. We gotta move forward and continue our career. You know, we're not in a position just to see stagnated and wait for something like that to happen. That fight's going to be there. You know, hopefully it happens soon. But we're looking to get back in the ring for the year out, and I think we will. You know what I'm saying? So just listen out for the next news update.
Building on that, the Wade Concept remarked that he found the fight ridiculous from the very beginning. Even when it was just a rumor. While he still thinks that way, he admitted that in boxing, anything that makes money can be seen as logical. He noted how Jake Paul cleverly switches between semi-legitimate opponents and completely outrageous matchups to maximize both his earnings and his reputation.
Number one, this is an exhibition, and when this was rumored to happen months ago and I was saying it was a nonsensical fight for Jake to do, I still think it's a nonsensical one from a boxer perspective, from his goals in boxing perspective. But again, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, and we've seen that Jake will kind of bounce in between doing these entertainment fights and then, you know, trying to push toward his goal of you know, ingraining himself in the sport of boxing, and kind of does both of them. So it's kind of a weird place to be, because he wants the respect of the boxing fans and the boxing hierarchy and hardcore boxing people, but at the same time he'll gain some of that and then lose some of it. It's like a seesaw of his fights. Like one fight, and be like, okay, that's a real fight, or that's a real fight, and he'll go and he'll win the fight.
However, Jake Paul acknowledged that this is the toughest and most legitimate fight of his career, emphasizing that he's facing an active, top-level fighter rather than a retired boxer, MMA fighter, or someone outside the sport.
Now, all jokes aside, this is the most dangerous fight of my career. This is no influencer, no MMA fighter, no retired boxer. He's been fighting since he was 5 years old, and I have 5 years of boxing experience. My first pro fight was in January of 2020.
He pointed out that Gervonta Tank Davis has been sparring and knocking out fighters his size, highlighting that while Jake has 5 years of experience, Gervonta has been boxing since he was 5.
He's 30 years old. I'm 28 years old. We're in our prime. If I win, I just beat one of boxing's greatest and pulled off the impossible. If he wins, he gives you all what you want to see. Send me back to YouTube. But if he loses, that whole little image of toughness and badassness goes all out the window. All from the little hands of a YouTuber, Jake Joseph Paul.
In the end, this matchup between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis has stirred intense debate, laughter, and plenty of skepticism. From the size differences to questions about competitive drive, financial motivations, and legacy, the fight has captured the attention of fans, fighters, and analysts alike. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat, and we shall see you in the video with more exciting updates.